Good morning, guys. Let's begin with the live stream. It's been running for 20 minutes. I've just done some charting analysis with all the AZ VIP members, where we did this entire markup, we discussed everything, and yeah, now the ES1 chart is ready to go. We continued expanding after the 8:30 news event that happened today, right here. We fell short of this London sell side, which really threw me off, like, come on, why? But anyway, it happened, and we just took Asia buy side liquidity, hit the negative 2.5 standard deviation of our last fake out here to the downside. That's what I used because it lined up perfectly. Good afternoon, Fresky. I can already tell by goodbye. Is the stream lagging for you, or it should be fine? Looks fine by me. Yeah, should be fine. I can already tell which time it is for every Discord member watching a live stream. For some it's afternoon, for some it's very late night because they're from Australia. For other ones it's the beginning of the day because they live in America. Okay, so right here, let's talk about these standard deviations. I measured, right here we took June sell side liquidity, a monthly low on the daily time frame. We made a lower low, a lower high, and had a last manipulation to the downside right here with a lower low, clearing that last daily sell side liquidity that we had available, and we expanded to the upside, shifting market structure here on the 5-minute time frame, and took buy side liquidity. And why did I really like using the standard deviation? Because it lined up perfectly with my take profit target. I got long today during London's live stream here on my YouTube channel as well. Let's see. Okay, we closed above, looking good. Right here somewhere, I have it on my Discord. Let me pull it up here quickly. On the new Apex live account, where do we have a general chat? Should be in here. Right here, sweep external liquidity. That's the 1-minute time frame now, 5-minute market structure shift, 1-minute market structure shift. Then we use this fair value gap to get in and took, a profit at the buy side liquidity pool. So that played out really well this morning. And after that, we consolidated for a little bit, had a last push to the upside, hitting the negative 1.5 standard deviation, which was lining up nicely with this buy side liquidity inside a 5 and 15-minute bearish fair value gap. From here on, we retraced, had a last push back up, took out these equal highs before we reversed, heading into the New York session, early New York sessions, 7 a.m., 7:30, and then here we had the 8 a.m. open. We had the news candle at 8:30 that delivered the push back above London buy side liquidity. And what did we do from here? We retraced to test exactly that London session high on this candle, and from here on we continued going higher, putting in higher lows across the board here on the 5-minute time frame, reaching for Asia buy side liquidity and just having hit -3 standard deviations. And if we really look at that, where 4 standard deviations would take us, lines up nicely with the new day opening gap that we have left behind. This is Wednesday's closing price. Wednesday's closing price. It's not Thursday yet. Wednesday's closing price. We have the high of the current daily candle being formed right here on the 6 p.m. New York local time candle. So yeah, let's find out what we're gonna do today. So we just swept major buy side. Over here we have Friday. We do not have any more news on the calendar today. Let's take a look at the DXY. The DXY failed to make a higher high here. We've been tracking the DXY all morning during the London session live stream, and really we've been looking forward for this inverse head and shoulders setup to play out right here. And yeah, so far the DXY and the S&P 500 have been beautifully correlated this morning. If I pull that one up, new price scale, and we flipped the DXY on its head. Whoa. Hang on, let me do that again. Inputs, no. I want to edit again. DXY, new percentage scale, there we go. And now, come on, it used to work. Let's just put it in a new pane and invert it. You can see that we formed the low roughly at the same time here. The DXY already started to pull back, and then we saw the S&P at the same time continuing lower, hitting that daily sell side liquidity, having one last manipulation. We didn't make a lower low right here, so it doesn't work all the time, but sometimes with good confluence. The DXY has been super bullish lately. And we sort of got a top formation in here, a head and shoulders right here. And we continued going higher. The DXY also failed to take out the low, so that the ES chart here. And earlier this morning, while we were still watching the setup to play out, we were talking about the possibility of accumulation, manipulation, and continuation. So right here on ES it didn't play out nicely, but over here I still have my drawings from the Nasdaq over here, and that's what we were talking about. I checked it before I started the live stream and it played out almost to the tick. So right here we talked about accumulation, manipulation, expansion. We came back inside of this, yeah, basically, I hope you guys can see it, a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder for an inverse head and shoulder setup. Consolidate, manipulate, start the expansion, consolidate up here for a little retrace to take out sell side liquidity, and from here on we continued with the expansion, having hit the initial target right here. And now we're working our way inside of the, come on, don't want to do that, inside of the new day opening gap that we have as well on the Nasdaq chart. We're at the low of the day, low of the week, and we start to see a head and shoulders formation. Ragnar, you might remember what we were talking about earlier this morning during London. This was the drawing that I left on the chart. And we only saw, okay, it's 9 AM, a new hourly candle. Played out perfectly here on Nasdaq. That's why you should never let go of classical charting patterns, even though, yeah, you learn ICT and you believe how the algo works. They're called classical charting patterns for a reason, because they've worked over a very long time. Many people use them. I wouldn't ditch them. If you combine them with what you know, what you have learned now, or what you're going to learn, I think that's really powerful. Alright, but that's in Q. I would consider that done. We have a new hourly candle that took the previous hourly high. We open up with a, let's go to the hourly here. Hourly candle, 9 AM, we get the New York Open. Anything else that's interesting here on the 1 hour time frame? New day opening gap. Asia buy side. No, that should be fine. 15-minute time frame. That's the inversion fair value gap I was talking about. We used it as resistance once. twice and then we closed above it. That's why I have this one on my chart. Overlapped perfectly with the high of the London buy-side liquidity, which we retested right after the news candle and continued to deliver into Asia buy-side. But that's nothing you would want to take, even though it netted 8 points already, or maybe 10 if you measure to the high. Because yeah, it's right after the news. And let's say if we would have taken that sell side maybe, but for now I'd say it's best thing to do is sit on your hands. Let's look at the daily candle right now. Already saw a very strong rejection on this daily candle. We have the high, the open, current close, and the low. In terms of standard deviations, we already hit the negative 0.5. The negative 1 would be all the way down here. But if we go to the daily time frame, there's not really much sell side liquidity left. We have a daily bullish fair value gap and we reacted bullish from this fair value gap. That's also why we were anticipating the long during London. Daily bullish fair value gap, we swept the low of the 1st of June, monthly sell side liquidity. And we also swept the daily low from the 31st of May, where we had that last manipulation to the downside before we continued higher. And really that next sell side target would be below, or let's say at the midpoint of this little reaccumulation where we saw the continuation up higher. Let me hide the standard deviations. So looking for lower prices today, maybe. I'm just looking for a retracement for the new day opening gap to be filled. We will see what we get, but that's the major sell side liquidity that I have mapped out on the daily time frame. We have all these relative equal lows, so I'm also going to be drawing them in. And if you maybe are on a daily time frame right now as well, and you're wondering why your chart looks different to mine, it's because I don't use contract adjustment. Like right here, if we turn all the drawings off, we would see we retraced below this bullish gap that kept holding support. We are already down much lower. I don't use the contract adjustment, I have it turned off. Why? Because I think with it turned off, it's much more precise. If you look for sell side liquidity from previous contract data, because right now here during London we bounced basically in the middle of nowhere. But if we turn it off, we actually took out sell side liquidity, went below with maybe 1 or 2 points and reversed. Yes, we have these contract rollover gaps, but that's how it's done. If you log into NinjaTrader, it looks the same way. But now let's go back to the 5-minute time frame and see what we're working with. Did we hit? No, we did not. Turn on our drawings. You can see that the majority of the volume has been put in right at the 8:30 open paired with the midnight level. They're almost at the same price, today at least. That is 5 ticks away from each other. Major of the consolidation prior to the 8:30 open happened right around that midnight level, also around the VWAP. We went below it and shot right away from it. Let's take a look at the DXY. But I want to do that on a daily time frame. On a daily time frame, we reached back up into our daily bearish fair value gap, also overlapping with this overall big inversion. But so far, the DXY has been super bullish, nothing to deny. We took out weekly sell side liquidity, the previous week's low, and this weekly low. on Monday, and then on Tuesday we very quickly retrace back into our initial daily bullish fair value gap. But I'd say we have to wait for next week, because next week we get the FOMC, the American interest rate decision, the Fed interest rate decision, and NFP news, both together in 1 week. So fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. In terms of today, we could retrace maybe on the DXY. We've sort of been putting that in the entire morning. Reacted off a higher time frame. Bearish fair value gap. Let me get rid of some stuff here. So old London session. New York midnight. It's our previous week's high. That's our buy side liquidity. We have more buy side above here. And really, low of the day. Would be right here of the daily candle. High. Failed to make that higher high, but now we really have relative equal highs, perfectly paired with the 50% of this daily bearish fair value gap. It's also something we could look out for. So up here we definitely have buy side liquidity. Yesterday's range. But I'd say a pullback on the DXY, starting from Tuesday's rally during the London session all the way up till here, could be interesting. Hard to draw a trend line here. Maybe those two lows. We just broke that trend line, but not as many touches as we would like to see. When drawing a trend line, 3 touches would be ideal. But still, we get the idea. We push up very strongly. We had the European interest rate decision. I think we should have already. So let's check out Forex Factory here quickly. Main refining, ECB press conference. Main refinancing rate, interest rate, they increased it by 0.25%. Previous time, September 14th, they kept the same. Forecast, yeah, true, I see. Okay, thanks for letting me know. They kept the interest rate the same. We will see what America is going to do next week. Right here we have the FOMC press conference, the federal funds rate. They're expecting it not to increase. Since May we started that rate hike at the high, and they're expecting no increase. Let's check that out. There's a pretty cool website about that. What's it called? Fed rate hike probability. I think it should even be from the CME FedWatch tool. I've already been on that page a couple times. Next FOMC meeting is in 6 days. And here it lists the probability. 1.7% probability that we're going to get a decrease. And a increase. What we get an increase? What was the last one? 5.5. July was 5.5. Okay, so we didn't increase during July and September. Let's see if they might even decrease it. But yeah, they don't even have the probability here for a decrease. We will see. Maybe they follow what Europe has already done. But yeah, next week is going to be brutal. We have CPI news on the euro. We have consumer confidence. Then we have non-farm employment change, PMI, FOMC, all on Wednesday, all in one New York session. So it's going to get very volatile. And on Thursday, like every Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And on Friday, we get the average hourly earnings, the NFP Friday. ISM services PMI at 10 a.m. Gonna be a tricky week, but it's gonna decide in which direction we're gonna head towards during the month of November, because we are also almost at the end of the monthly candle. Let's hide all the drawings here quickly. So on the monthly, we actually managed to break below our monthly bullish fair value gap, which is not ideal, but if we were to, let me quickly clear up my, no, that's a lot of work. Let's put all of that stuff into one folder and hide that quickly. Hide Tuesday, hide this one. Yep, there we go. If we were to measure from our low to our high, and we use the percentage of ranges, right here we have the low of the month of May. We're already below the 25% level. Let me use a ICT fib retracement and turn on the 0.5 as well. So we hit the 38.2 retracement level right here. That's where we're stuck at. The 50% of this entire monthly range, starting from the low that we have put in place last October, last year, to the high. We took the buy side liquidity up here, just wicked it basically, and started to retrace from external to internal liquidity. And I think that FOMC release and press conference next week is gonna decide if we revisit that 50% level or if we bounce off to 38.2 and continue with the bull market. This is our all-time high right here at 4809. But yeah, for the short term, that's not really relative if we scalped a 1 and 5 minute time frame. But it's good to know where we are sitting at in a bigger picture. Let me get rid of that retracement. And now we can turn on our group 1 and calendar week 43. Head back to our lower time frame and see what we missed. So we're almost at the opening price, heading into the new day opening gap between Wednesday's close and the opening. Very bullish. It's 9:15. We have the opening in 15 minutes as well. If we would look for a regular trading hours opening gap, that's where we closed yesterday. And we are right here at the open. So we have the potential for a gap. And I think now we should be well prepared. Fresky, Ragnar, Asinov, what are you looking for today? I mean, we already headed towards the new day opening gap. Now we're inside of it. We took Asia buy side liquidity, maybe like a retracement. Okay, until 10 a.m. That's a good idea to wait for the opening range. Yeah, wait for New York Open, that's for sure. Yeah, I'd say it really comes down to the DXY. They've been very much correlated. And if we measure just this week's range so far, from the high to the low, there we go. Now the high comes in on this candle. Yep, does it? Yep. And we look at the ICT fib retracement like earlier. What happened? Optimum trade entry lines up perfectly with this 4-hour fair value gap. Let's check out the percentage Qs. Where's it gone? Come on. "25% retracement, 50% retracement would bring us in back into our daily bullish fair value gap. We took this buy side already. Free drive slower. But I think to expect a retracement on the DXY, at least for today, a continuation of that retracement would help us on the S&P to continue higher, but we're already almost at the high of the day. We're not that far away anymore, only 7 points or 6 points now. Tough one. Daily time frame. If we think about it, this bullish candle here on the DXY looks very much like this bearish candle, for now at least, that we have on the S&P. Just flipped on its head. Right here. Big wick to the upside, little wick to the downside, small body. Small body, little wick to the upside, little wick to the downside. Big wick to the downside. Turnaround Thursday, maybe. Yesterday was a true expansion day. We caught a 2022 model long right in here with the new week opening gap. Monday took out October low and pulled back. Tuesday mostly spent time inside of the range from Monday, while Wednesday continued into one specific direction. We had this gap in terms of weekly template. I'm trying to think. So right now, Tuesday high of the week is in place. On which folder is that? Tuesday. Yeah, there we go. No. Yuck. Turn it off. So we formed the high of the current week on Tuesday. And the low of the week, we have this sitting here at the London session sell side liquidity. High and low of the week. We're at the lower end. So basically today represents the wick on the weekly time frame. And if we check that one out, what do we have on the weekly? We took this weekly sell side, has been taken, and like we said, the wick on the weekly represents today. Just trying to get a good feeling of what we can work with today for the New York session. Monday's up move, expansion to the downside. But it's not easy. Let's see if we maybe have someone on YouTube who's got an idea. The sound is very low. I'm literally in front of my microphone. Guys, what's going on? Only one like? I want to see likes, otherwise I will only continue to stream for the Discord members. That really helps to promote the stream here on YouTube. So if you're watching, make sure to give it a like. NAS 830 lows and still be bullish. So I hope the voice is not too... let me check my OBS. Now I'm on full. Yeah. 0 decibel. Properties. USB condenser mic. Filters. Delete. Better. Should be. Filters. Do I think NAS can sweep 830 lows and still be bullish? EU. Let me go to the 5-minute time frame and we can check. Sweep the 830 lows, NASDAQ. And still be bullish. So right here on NASDAQ, did we hit the high of the day? Yeah. So and NASDAQ actually hit the high of the day here on the futures chart. Formed on that candle right here. We have the new day opening gap. We have the inversion head and shoulder setup. We talked about that during London. That's where these drawings come from. Still be bullish if we sweep 830 lows. Theoretically, yes. But I think... not sure if London is going to remain low for the week. I think we will see. I certainly will wait for the first 30 minutes after the New York Open before I consider taking any trades. I did pretty well during London. All my accounts are in profit. And yeah, if you are already sitting in front of the charts and you're wondering what is price going to do today, and you flip from the monthly to the weekly to the daily, we went through all the time frames throughout the last 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes even. And it's still so hard to, think of a good bias for today. For London, it was pretty easy because that's when we swept the June and daily sell side liquidity. Not sure what NQ did. I usually don't follow NQ on the higher time frame too much. NQ didn't sweep these two lows. Would you look at that? Perfect equal lows. One push, two push, three push. I think over the mid to short term, NQ should take out this daily sell side liquidity from the previous contract. We will see. Not going to trying to predict anything. We consolidate below the open here on ES. Pump up, retracement down to take out London sell side. Maybe. We will see. 5-minute price action is not the best right now. 1-minute time frame. We go sideways. We took out all these equal lows and started to pull back up. So for the open, I have a feeling that we're gonna pop up. Usually that's what we do when we consolidate below specific levels, like right here. Asia buy side, we move sideways. We take it out. Consolidate, consolidate. Yeah, 8:30 news, of course, we get a sweep. Continue higher. going long or you are going long, Fresky? So areas to watch out for here on ES. Yeah, good. 5-minute bullish fair value gap. It's the only real one. Maybe we could also retrace somewhere inside of the inefficiency that we have left behind with the 8:30 news candle. And really, this 5-15-minute inversion fair value gap, retesting the VWAP, sort of coming back to my baseline. I always use the VWAP as my baseline throughout the day. Always works well if we are away from it. Eventually, we always gravitate back to it. JS. What's a JS? Judo swing, not JavaScript. So on EU, what I like is that we have SMT divergence, comparing it to the Euro US dollar. The Euro US dollar didn't make a lower low, so relatively speaking, depending what the US dollar is going to do, if the US dollar wants to now continue back to the upside to take this equal high buy side, basically relative equal highs, and shoot back up, then we will see more downside on EU. But we had 1, 2, 3 bullish days on the DXY. 1, 2, 3 took buy side, started to reject. Hard to tell. Which one would be the judo swing for you, to move to the downside? Took buy side. Yeah, could be, but I would still wait. So 9:30 opened up. Let's see what we are getting here on ES and NQ. Watch the open on NQ as well. 5-minute time frame. And put them next to each other, but the main focus is going to be ES. We tapped the bullish fair value gap right here. DXY didn't hit, did it? No, not really. A mitigation block up here because we failed to make a higher high here, otherwise it would have been a breaker. It's overlapping nicely with the midnight and a 15-minute bearish. I think we already tapped the low of it. Which would lead to more upside on EU, really. Like we talked about, we have the SMT divergence, so EU made a lower low and immediately pushed to the upside. We only got one 5-minute close below here. Let's watch it on A15. On A15, we kept respecting it. We only wicked below it. Yeah, potential for a retracement is there, especially powered with the SMT divergence down here now. 50% lines up nicely with some buy side liquidity. Not sure if we're going to get there today, but maybe. So I see ES move to the upside again. Yep. NQ did as well. We tapped a new day opening gap. That's the current opening price. The high daily candle is starting to turn bullish. Once we move above the opening right here, that old high has just been tapped. DXY continues to go lower of that mitigation block. Potential targets here for the DXY. Let me see. We already took out this low. Or this, I would rate that as trendline liquidity, which is usually taken with a quick move. Relative equal lows here. And the 50% would be back inside our daily fair value gap. We'll keep an eye on all that. "38 seconds to go for this 5-minute candle to close. Let's check what the 1-minute candles are looking like or telling us. We're at the high. We closed above on the 1 minute. We don't have a 930 fair value gap yet. We took out this consolidation high and low. But it's looking, gut feeling here on the Euro FX futures. This is a bullish market structure shift. So from the technical side, it's there. We did not see an interest rate hike. We have a market structure shift paired with SMT divergence. We never closed below this low here on the 15. So a potential pullback could be likely. But it really depends on the DXY as always. So the setup is there. Let's check the 1 hour time frame. We also have a market structure shift on the 1 hour chart. We would use our highest stop closing candle as breaker block here on the 1 hour. We already repriced into that. Things start to get a lot more cleaner, but we have bearish structure right here. We also took out major lows with this wick and head into the new week opening gap here on the Euro US dollar on the 4 hour time frame. That's our new week opening gap. We've hit that. A week opening gap from a previous week. 5-minute time frame now. Putting in lower lows and lower highs. Could wait for some kind of a trend line break, but like I said, it's DXY has been tricky. Alright, so we took that high and we pull back. We do not have any 1-minute fair value gaps, and I'm not someone who's jumping on the 10 seconds time frame or lower. Okay, at least we're getting some likes. So guys, make sure that you hit the like button if you enjoy watching the stream. That really helps the health of the live stream to expose it to more viewers on YouTube. Right, let's keep an eye on that little sell-off here. After we touched a high from the new day opening gap. Structure-wise, sucks because of that 930 opening wick right here. But could be a potential short. To retrace before we continue higher, at least, let me see, we did not hit a 4 standard deviation equilibrium, but that depends where we get our entry and how big our stop losses be. This is our current daily range, high to low, sweep sell side below the 50%. We keep an eye on that. I gotta log into my TraderWeight account. Quickly take a peek at NQ. Same story on NQ. Mm-hmm. 5-minute time frame shift as well. We close on a 5-minute. And I would like to get in on a 1-minute bearish fair value gap after we saw our displacement. Let's see if we get filled. Immediate rebalance. Create limit orders, sell 1, stop loss being 5 points above this high.
Order filled, order filled.
Alright, we are tagged in to the tick here. Target to midnight. We hit the 5-minute inversion fair value gap now as well, because we closed below it. Five points, 6 points to the VWAP. Below this candle slow, our old London session high. Yeah, let's see how this is going to develop. The DXY, not sure yet. Same for the Euro. But this is a decent 2022 model, if we're being honest. Yet we could still be faked out. It's part of trading. Giving it a stop loss above this high, we will see. We just filled this entire 1-minute inefficiency. Let's check the 5-minute. And do our
stop filled.
Alright, we're stopped out here. We went back above this high. Worth a try. Sort of a whipsaw pattern here. Alright, that's it for the short. Let's see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a look at NQ. Now this fair value gap would turn into a inversion fair value gap as well. When above the 50%, ICT FIB retracement, optimum trade and 80% entry. Now, volume imbalance to the upside. We're now retesting this inversion fair value gap. Go back to the 5-minute time frame. Nothing really here on the 5-minute yet. The DXY still at a hard. And we use the inversion fair value gap here on the 1 minute and delivered higher. So right now it still looks like it wants to go for the high again to fill the entire new day opening gap. I was just looking for a quick scalp, 5 points, maybe a little bit more than that into the 50% as a retracement, because that's a valid 2022 model. We took out buy side, had a strong displacement with a bearish fair value gap being left behind for a continuation lower, maybe to the VWAP, to our 5-minute bullish to clear at least out this low. We will see if we break this high again. Usually the stop loss for a 2022 model should be at the current high, a 10-point stop loss. Let's see if that stop loss would have worked better. Watch the 1-minute NQ. So NQ didn't really get up this high. Has the same 1-minute bearish fair value gap. Maybe we even get some SMT divergence, with ES being the stronger one today. The DXY continues lower, and you might want to break this trend line now. There we get our push back into the new day opening gap, but we fail. Open up with a volume imbalance up here. 10 AM, that's our opening range. Have a tiny little bullish fair value gap here on this pullback. But we see the bullish momentum is still there. We have a regular trading hours opening gap. A new day opening gap that has only been partially filled. DXY heading lower could lead to indices going higher. Tapping the inversion once more. Fresh key, did you enter on this 1-minute model? So let's see, do we close back below the inversion? Took a loss. Yeah, same for me, but looks like the stop loss at the high would have protected us. Take care, until tomorrow.
Order filled.
We close back below the inversion and below the bullish fair value gap. So let's see if I cannot get back in. Fail to break higher. Stop loss placement too tight. Bearish volume imbalance. Stop loss for me personally for this little scalp would go above here. And Q delivered the model much cleaner than ES did. Took the low already here. Five points. Below the VWAP, let's see. NQ is selling off. DXY is pushing back up. Now we have equal lows here on ES. While NQ made a lower low. Let me mark out these equal lows right here on ES. So I hope the model is clear also on NQ. We took the high, displaced, bearish fair value gap entry. Didn't retrace as much as ES did. On NQ I wouldn't have been stopped. Let's see, we're below the VWAP, 50%. Once again would come in right here, PD array. We had not hit that yet. Now we hit the 50%. We closed below, also below the VWAP. So let's just see how price wants to behave here. Jump to a higher time frame. I'm going to move my stop close to break even just to be safe, because we're in the 830 bullish inefficiency now on the 5 minute. We want to keep a close eye on that. Target for now is the midnight level. We took these equal lows. But let's watch what's happening right now around the VWAP and the inefficiency here after taking this low. This is our old London session buy side. We do not have an inefficiency other than this one all the way up here. What's the time? It's 9:52. We'll see what happens at the macro. NQ is pushing back up. $10 on this 1 minute candle here. Check out the 5 quickly. Back above the VWAP. Stop loss is back at break even, so nothing is at risk here. No reason to stress or worry. We have our take profit target for now at the New York midnight level. Maybe I will trail it. We will see. The DXY retested the mitigation block and EU therefore kept going lower. Made a lower low. Where's the 50% of this fair value gap? Right here. Open up with a bearish volume imbalance. Good sign for bearish order flow. Low, lower high. Going to trail my stop loss to this high. No, let's leave it at break even. One tick below to cover commission. Strong push here on ES of the 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Bullish, sorry, and the 15 inversion. Took this high. If we get stopped out at break even, so be it. We still have some reason to believe we could go higher. Offered some profit, but we're not gonna get thrown off our trade so easily. We're protected, so we don't lose any of our equity anymore. With our stop loss 1 tick below break even, below our entry. The DXY, EU. Watch and see, it's now. We halted exactly at VWAP. We wanted to see that retracement. We do not have a bearish fair value gap on the 5. We get a new hourly candle at 10. And yeah, it's either going to be a break even or a winning trade with that new hourly candle. I don't have any influence on that. That's trading. If you try to force your will on it, well, it's not going to end very well. All you can do here, as hard as it is sit and watch. Be patient. It is 9:56. Close back below the VWAP. Took a short-term high right here. There we go. That's the reward for not checking out of the trade. I used to do that, guys, trust me. So we've done 10 points.
Order filled.
That's going to be it for me out of the scalp. If I would have been in on the original model, yes. But since I've just got in on a scalp, that's fine. Alright, nice. Good start. The count is up. Let me check the trader weight. I couldn't execute that quickly on my other one. I think that's worth some likes. I hope some of you catch that too. Nice. I'm trading today. Come on, let's get up to 10 likes. It's not that hard. For a free stream. That's the take profit trade account. That's up today. I won't touch it anymore. Up to 50. The other account isn't drawdown from our initial loss. Will this have been the high of the day? We will see with the new hourly candle. Could be, couldn't be. I'm fine and content with 10 points. I don't like, especially with the intraday trailing drawdown that you have with the Apex funded accounts. Not a fan of holding on for too long. If I see my trade playing out, hit 10 points during New York, I'm happy. Check the 5 minute. Even if I watch it going all the way down here, it is what it is. It's better than watching it going back up here. I can tell you that much. Much better. Yeah, you missed out, but you took profits. Unfortunately, only as we've been stopped out early, so new hourly candle opens with a bearish volume imbalance, hits the midnight. Yeah, I think we're gonna take the low. We will see. Not certain yet, but yeah, I hope you get the idea of why I closed after 10 points. Catching the high of the day. Nice. And let's watch London low being taken with that new hourly momentum. 10 a.m. Boom. Goodbye, bulls. Let's take a look at NQ here over to the right. The XY pushing back up, therefore EU should be going lower. We close below the 830 and the New York midnight level. That account is good for today. Step by step, building it up. My AM session bias isn't bearish. Overall, it's still bullish, but I'm just reacting off what price is telling me right now in this moment. There's no reason to stick to a fixed bias and price is telling you something completely different. And I am quick with switching my short-term bias. My medium-term bias doesn't really apply to my scalps here, especially on a 1 minute time frame. But that's just my trading style. I see that we swept the high. We shifted market structure. Unfortunately, I've been stopped out after 5 points. With my stop up here, I would have been fine. Displaced, I got in on the inversion entry right here on this wick. And we continued lower and I secured after 10 points. If I see a bearish market structure shift at a high of the current daily candle, I always will take it. Unfortunately, I've been stopped after 5 points. On NQ, I wouldn't have been. Like we said at the beginning of the stream, we talked about, okay, what could our bias for today be? And we really had, we didn't have a great plan because it was hard to read. So I wait for the New York Open to tell me what price is likely going to do. And it told me with that initial pump up, like we anticipated. So I wanted to see, okay, can we continue to fill the entire new day opening gap right after the opening? Price told me, no, we did not. We closed below, also on a 5 minute time frame. That really started to convince me or sell me on the short term bias bearish. Bearish fair value gap on NQ, this was cleaner. I hope some of you guys caught it. While I was doing the ES analysis, we closed, we had our bearish fair value gap, and we never retraced up to those highs, what we did here on ES. So yeah, pretty clean. Also from the DXY, not really clear of what it's going to do. As you can see, it's pushing back up, gravitating towards these equal highs that it has left behind. Therefore, we should see EU dumping. There could still be a long setup forming. The session is not over yet. I got in, let me hop onto the live stream account. Right here I got in short on this bearish fair value gap, but unfortunately being tapped out here on ES, on NQ we would have been chilling. Stopped out for a 5-point loss, and I got in short right here on this retest after I saw we closed below, opened with a bearish volume imbalance, price came back into the initial area where I shorted from, got in short, and secured at 10 points. Yeah, I think we all quit trading several times, and I think it's, yeah, don't want to say normal, but blow the account, you wonder why, like, why am I even doing this? Alright, we hit a bearish value gap right here, paired with the 5-minute inversion, New York midnight. Kind of missed that. Would have been a nice continuation short, like a little silver bullet, but maybe I missed it for a reason. You can see the DXY is still trending higher. Good morning, Agent Smith. Nice to see you back on the Discord. Why am I still losing money? Losing money is part of the job description you freely sign up for. But at least you're not losing your own money. All you have to do is spend $18 on a Apex 50k challenge and happy days. And if you want to do that too, for everyone who's watching me on YouTube, make sure to, or don't make sure, it's up to you to use the affiliate links. It really helps for the free YouTube live stream. You mean we only question trading when we lose? Of course. Yeah. Super excited when we win, even though we shouldn't. And when we lose, we're wondering, like, does this even make sense? Shoes here, nice. Well, let me put that trade into my journal here quickly. Apex live stream account, currently sitting at a balance of 51337. We made 250. Initially we lost 250, so we put that in here as well. Negative 250. Went short with one contract, put the screenshot in here. On ES1. Setup pattern, a 2022 setup. But we got stopped with our 5-point stop loss. Really, I'd label it as a mistake. The New York session. $9.30 to 10. can add the trade. And now we're also going to add the second one where we won. It's a good habit of journaling your trades right after you took them, because that gets you away from the screen. And once you hit your first win, it's kind of hard to stop. It's like when you drink your first beer, like, and your mate's asking you, do you want to have another one? And you're like, yeah, nah, maybe. Super easy to get, back into it. This was a re-entry. Yeah, and even harder if you lose. 9:30 to 10, New York, 9:30 to 10. All right, we add the trade and we are good. So far, all these streams have been taken during a live stream. For the first time in my trading career, I'm letting the month reset automatically rather than paying for another reset. In the meantime, I'm trading Forex in my cash account. Fair enough. DXY keeps on pushing higher. EU therefore keeps on going lower. So let's see, for the DXY, after already being above order structure, above this bearish fair value gap where we initially reacted bearish from, really, yeah, I'd say we keep on grinding higher here on the DXY. Daily candle almost at the high again. And after that, we could even take out some more buy side here at 106.974. We will see what the dollar is going to do next week. Maybe we have more luck with EU longs then. Yeah, longs, because we've been short the entire time. So now we see some consolidation around the midnight and the 8:30 level. So this could either be a potential reversal or, like always, two scenarios, the continuation towards London sell side liquidity. I'm glad I'm not having to sit through this. This is saving me so much mental capital. Like being in a trade and watching it up, down, up, down, up, down. It's so easy to click that close button because you're scared you're going to lose some of your unrealized profits. It's also a good practice to just set your trade and completely forget about it, walk away from your chart, because then at least most of the time the biggest issue, which is ourselves as traders, can't interfere. Take profits early, blah, 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 or exit or chicken out of the trade basically, because we are scared. And it's normal to be scared, but it's tough to do, to walk away if you're live streaming. That's why I like these couple of minutes where I can journal and not look at the chart. Yeah, when everyone wants to tell you, well, we've been pretty bearish so far. At the meantime, Bitcoin really has been pumping, so I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Maybe it's just a last fake out after filling the 35k CME gap. If we go to the daily here, I'm talking about the CME gap right here. Let's go to the weekly, get a better overview, get rid of that volume. So right here we had an old CME gap and we just tapped that 50%. But yeah, early on last year during my YouTube channel, when I was still doing crypto stuff, I'm still doing crypto stuff, but all I said was DCA into this market. My lowest entry was somewhere around here. It's already up 100%. Of course, you could have done the same with stocks, like Amazon maybe. Okay, Amazon didn't make this higher high, did it? No. But yeah, let's keep on watching our S&P 500 chart. Haha, nice fresky. You have inside info. Heard that before. So seeing that we keep on rejecting from the midnight level and at 8:30 consolidating below it, check the higher time frame. On the 5-minute we're below it. We try to retrace into this inversion fair value gap. So I think we should see the 8:30 low being taken and also the London session sell side. It's not good enough for an entry for me. I really have to learn to be more picky with the executions that I take. This would be, in my opinion, the SilverBullet continuation setup. I know maybe some of you don't agree, but that's what I consider a SilverBullet. For me, it's a continuation setup with a strong bias, drawn liquidity. For some, it's the 2022 model, and I kind of mix things up. So we get a new 5-minute candle after retapping our 8:30 inversion. And maybe we've been just sitting through a little bit of time diversion because we now also got a new 15-minute candle. On the 15, we have a bearish fair value gap, a unfilled volume imbalance. We close on 15 below the midnight and the 8:30 open, but a retracement could be healthy. What's Mara? Is this an altcoin? Marathon stock crypto based. Interesting. Government exchange. Not liking that. One day. So DXY managed to close back above the mitigation block and above this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. If we check it out on a 1 hour, let's see, 1 hour bearish fair value gap, we're above it right now. I think the buy side should be hit, and therefore the sell side to be hit on ES and NQ. That's the way, Agent Smith. Who else is holding crypto? Let's check out the YouTube live stream what we've got here. How long have I been streaming here on YouTube, or do you mean trading in general? Trading in general? Good question. Time moves by so fast if you but doing these live streams, so on Discord with the VIP members, I've been streaming, or even not only for VIP members, I've made that switch at the beginning of this month, where I stream for free with ads and roughly 1 minute of delay on YouTube. And I also okay, I thought I'm not live. And I'm also streaming live at the same time on the Discord without any delay or without any ads. I also share daily trading setups on there, so if you're interested in joining that, check out the website. I just made that one recently. And yeah, this is pretty much our Discord server where we have a few people today watching live stream. I've also been streaming the London session today, and yeah, right here I share my trade ideas. I think the most recent one was the inversion model during London, where we took daily sell-side liquidity. I already took a scalp before the inversion was confirmed. But if you take a look at the London session, 5-minute time frame, played out perfectly. So right here we had the inversion. But because I was already long, I wasn't really interested in getting in with more contracts. Could have, maybe should have, but we displaced, closed above. What did we do? We retraced into our inversion, and target buy side liquidity was right here with that first standard deviation where I closed the position. So when I'm not streaming, I'm always sharing these trade setups with the Discord group. Of course, you also lose sometimes. We're still consolidating here, even though we got a new 15-minute candle. Personally, I'd still have the gut feeling that we continue lower to take the London sell side. We're not really that far away from it, and we also have relative equal lows down here. We missed that earlier, but yeah, jumping somewhere in here just leads you to getting chopped up. We already had the extension, or the expansion to the downside. Right now, after expansion, we get consolidation, and after consolidation, we either get a reversal or a continuation, and sometimes a manipulation before the continuation. But I think that pattern is pretty easy to spot right here. Consolidation, manipulation, reversal with the expansion, followed by consolidation again, right around where? The midnight and the 8:30 opening. Mm. 39 minutes for this 1 hour candle to close. So if we zoom out, really, I would be surprised if we don't take out the sell side from London and the current low of the day. And this doesn't mean that we cannot fill in the entire new day opening gap just because we take London sell side. I mean, look what we saw on Monday. We go all the way back here to Tuesday. We had the previous day's high, and during Asia and London and early AM session, 9:30, we popped above the 8:30 buy side liquidity, and from there we had our market structure shift and went short also on the live stream, and we went all the way down below the Asian sell side liquidity, and we took it out with maybe 1 or 2 ticks. And what happened afterwards? Boom, all the way back up above the current high of the day. Let me open up Discord. I forgot about that. And put it on my other screen. Come on. See you tomorrow, Ragnar. Take care. Equilibrium AFK. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're working with. And guys on YouTube, feel free to ask me questions if you have any. That's why we're here. Show 140 posts. Oh, look. Look, the same trade that we did, but on NQ. With a table trading account. And like we spoke about, the model on NQ worked much cleaner. He's only trading NQ. I prefer yes personally, but we exactly spoke about that same setup. White pattern. And right here we got stopped out on our first PS short, and we continue lower. Otherwise Otherwise I get striked here. Power of 3. That's what I talked about during the London kill zone. So, are you in love yet? Me? Yeah, I'm in love with ES. Accumulation, manipulation. So you were covered watching the streams, just in case. Euro USD, what do you think? I'd say head and shoulders. Cool. Yeah, just Twitter being Twitter. Alright, and we eventually take out... No, we didn't take the 830 low yet. Let's take a look at NQ here. NQ is also gravitating towards the London sell side. Didn't I see him tweet that he's not going to take a trade today? I hate that stuff, but who cares? You should focus more on your development instead of following someone else on Twitter. Because in the end of the day, ICT isn't going to carry you to your profitable challenge or on your journey as to become a profitable trader. No one is except yourself. But nice. So we took the low and we immediately get the pushback up. Ouch. Yucky conditions. DXY still holding. EU also still holding on our London session low. If we go to the 15, but not clean. ES, would you look at that? So after taking out all the longs, that anticipated the move to the upside with this move to the downside right here. What did they do? Maximum pain candle. They're all waiting for London low to be hit, hoping that this fair value gap will hold. Boom. And now very likely they are already in the next trade, trying to get it on the long, and then all it does is take buy side and continue. Yeah, you know the drill. But now at least at 10:25, so that should be a new 5-minute candle. So with the new 5-minute candle, we failed to go below the 830 low. So this bullish fair value gap right here is still being respected. Now we're stuck between PD arrays, inversion here on the 5, the 830. We still have this unfilled volume imbalance, and they do very much like to be filled sometime. But I'm proud of me for not trying to force anything in that consolidation. No questions on YouTube, that's fine. La, 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 la. So let's see, we bounced again off the New York midnight level. Take a look at NQ. Did NQ clear that low? Yes, it did. Even went below the sell side liquidity pool. So that effectively would have netted somewhere up here. 100 points on NQ. That's not bad. Now expecting some kind of retracement. Or maybe even a push back up. Who knows? Because now on NQ right here, what did we do? We sweep sell side liquidity in a discount for higher prices. We're at the high of the day. Looking for longs at the high. Not really the best thing to do. So we look for shorts, but we wait for the confirmation for our setup. Head and shoulders, our 2022 model. To sweep sell side liquidity in a discount. This low, and the 830 low. To maybe push back up. We'll keep an eye on it. We're back at the VWAP here on ES. On the 5-minute time frame, we have now filled that inefficiency. We have a bearish fair value gap over here as well. Might be worth drawing that one in. And at this time, we can be 99% sure that most of the shorts were forced out of their short. The volume point of control is still at the 830 open. That's the anchored volume profile for this daily candle. And relatively to the volume that we have put in place around this level, compared to what we see at the high, it's not really that big. The XY is starting to reject here of this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Paired with the 1 hour mitigation block. So we'll just keep an eye on it here based on the 1 hour. EU. No thank you. Wow, what happened? Nah, shit. Oh, good. I'm still on the stream. I thought I closed it. Getting a question on Discord. Let's wait. New 5-minute candle. Let's watch the 15. So we're inside this 15 5-minute bearish fair value gap, overlapping with that 830 inversion fair value gap. So continuation shorts really have the upper hand in my opinion, at least right now. See you tomorrow. That's enough. Well, this is theoretically a market structure shift bullish. Yes. I think the higher time frame outweighs what we see here on the 1 minute. We filled all the boxes, filled all the 1 minute fair value gaps. 5-minute inefficiencies, unfilled volume imbalances. So really I want to see what we do inside of this bullish fair value gap. And again, take a look at NQ. This would have a potential for a market structure shift paired with a bullish fair value gap right here. Nice displacement. If we measure our 930 range, very high, maybe retrace towards 50%. That's at least a good partial. Now we're back inside our bullish fair value gap right here on the 1 minute. On the 5-minute, we nicely rejected from all those areas. 1 minute time frame. Damage has likely been done. We will see though. DXY back above. Nope, no new questions on YouTube. account are we logged into? So we just tapped the low of this fair value gap. And Q's below that. Right now we're still holding it. So if you were waiting for after 10 a.m. Not that nice. Nice move happened right after the open. Within that opening range. And you even see the master, creator of all these concepts. I hope you hear some of the irony. Taking trades before that. While earlier saying on Twitter he's not going to take any more trades. DXY pushing up strongly, EU rejecting, 15-minute bearish. Hourly candle is going to close in 24 minutes. And guys, if you want me to look at a different chart as well, feel free to ask me. Let's see, 830 low right here. They keep bumping into this 1 minute fair value gap low, but we get rejected with a bearish volume imbalance. Just out of curiosity. Not really a fan of trading in these conditions, but this would be a volume imbalance scalp for me. Stop loss would go above this high. One tick. With the higher time frame candle in the back of our mind, higher time frame looks pretty bearish. Filled the 15-minute bearish fair value gap. But it's an aggressive entry with high risk. We closed below the 1 minute bullish. Retested the volume imbalance. And there we go. Took the 830 low here on ES. And let's check out in Q if we also made a lower low. No, we did not. We will keep an eye on that. If we're going to make a lower low. Because once we cleared that low, we immediately push back inside of our range. Nice little scalp. New volume imbalance at the 50%. That should really deliver us lower.
Order filled.
NQ is taking out the low. Gonna give it a stop loss above this high. Yeah, I'd say a different account. Seeing if I can catch the short into London sell side. If not, so be it. It's worth the practice. It's not the 2022 model account. The angry duck. And looks like I get wrecked. Yeah, I know. I said it's not the 2022 model. And it's not the 2022 model account. It's number 15 right here. High risk account. It's the 2024. Now that's the 2024 model. ICT hasn't taught it yet. And
Stop
we
filled.
stop. He will go for the Robbins Cup. Yeah, I read that tweet too. It's bullshit. Let him do it. Let him delete his accounts again. Who cares? Okay, glad we had our stop loss where it is. So we just see that continuation of the seek and destroy, very likely. For that next entire hour, we swept the 830 low. We didn't want to continue to the London sell side. We can see that DXY is starting to reject here, but it's been going up and down and up and down and up and down, really. Do that, Fresky. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, I should have gotten in on that volume imbalance entry instead of hesitating into the 830 low. Really was looking for the continuation after taking the high, continuing lower. Damage should have been done, but doesn't look like it. Let's see. Hour is not over yet. The DXY is rejecting, but we've been seeing that for a couple times now. Rejection, no rejection. Let's go back to the higher time frame. No SMT divergence. 15-minute. We already filled in the bearish fair value gap. Took the low. 1 hour time frame. Bullish fair value gap right here on the 1 hour. Took the previous hourly low. And once again rejecting with the DXY going lower. Yes, going higher. 1.5 minutes for the new 5-minute candle. And that's when all these gaps and this entire language or the way to look at price action doesn't work in these choppy market conditions. Because we go from buy side, sell side, buy side, sell side, and we do not continue into any given direction. Compared to here, nice. It was worth the risk though. Take a look at NQ. NQ also took the lows. One more time. The time is 10:44, so with this candle close, we get a new 15-minute candle. Right now, the 15-minute candle is looking rather bullish. Yep, no, it is bullish. And we're back at the VWAP. So from taking lows to taking highs, and from taking highs, taking lows, from taking lows to taking highs. New 15-minute candle, new 5-minute candle. Playing with the VWAP here. Back inside the 5-minute bearish that already delivered into sell side liquidity. 1 hour time frame is about to close in 15, so that's the last 15-minute candle before the end of the early AM session. Took this high, bullish volume imbalance. Yeah, unfortunate. Didn't get filled on that long. I was looking to take another aggressive volume imbalance entry into this buy side liquidity. But we can leave this line because this is now a new displacement market structure shift. With this being our breaker block. Being back above the VWAP. Buy side liquidity would reside right up here. This high stop closing candle becomes our breaker block. After sweeping sell side, displacement back above. Of course, we could simply continue the pattern. It's worth it to me, even if it's another loss. But we might not even get the entry we're looking for. 6E, let me check out NQ. NQ did the same thing. Close above the midnight, kept on holding here. Kind of want to get rid of all this. The 830 fair value gap, I will leave that on. New 1 minute bullish fair value gap, 5 minute. Looking like we're pretty bullish now. We swapped this buy side liquidity. Back inside our old short entry. The 830 inversion, we know it's there. Bullish fair value gap, high risk entry, but bullish fair value gap right here, and a bullish fair value gap right here inside our breaker. Take a look at NQ. NQ is also almost at the 50% of this displacement to the downside. What a rally. And it's not giving us, not even on a 1 minute time frame, any chance to enter on based on structure. We had this volume imbalance where we wanted to go in long. Didn't fill us. My limit order is always at the closing price where we created the volume imbalance. Close above, market structure shift, bullish fair value gap, breaker block, no retap, otherwise we would have been in by now. Now we touched the highest bearish fair value gap before we would look forward to maybe target even these highs. But the rally has been pretty aggressive so far. And it all started once we took out that 830 sell side liquidity. Someone asked me if I could see that happening. Well, here's your answer. Filled in this entire bearish fair value gap, but didn't close above. So no inversion fair value gap yet. No retracement at all. We didn't even fill this fair value gap. Could have been an anticipation entry, but I lagged. Let's see, the time is 10:51, so we're now inside the 10:50 till 11:10 macro. And there we go. The XY should be getting rejected. Let's see, this is a high risk entry. I would not recommend anyone to take that. Based on simply this inversion fair value gap, trying to catch the momentum. Yeah, high risk entry really, guys. We made a new higher high already. Buy side is still above here, new day opening gap up here. $10.52. 5-minute time frame. Closing in 2 minutes. Maybe leaving behind a 5-minute bullish fair value gap. That would be a much nicer entry. Volume imbalance. Well, anyway, I'm not trying to chase it here now. I'm quickly going to the bathroom. I will be back in no time. If we hit buy side already by then, so be it. I would look forward to wait for the 5-minute candle close. Let's see. We didn't take buy side, and the 5-minute candle is going to close in 20 seconds, leaving behind a nice 5-minute bullish. That's going to be the last 5-minute candle before we get a new hourly candle. So it might be time to check that one out. Looking good for longs. 15-minute. Going to close on 5. A 5-minute bullish volume imbalance. So where does that 5-minute bullish fair value gap start? From here all the way to the VWAP. Overlapping nicely with that 1-minute fair value gap. Now we're retesting the inversion. Too much risk to the downside here. There's no structure at all. Your stop loss would have to be super wide in hopes for a potential 8.5 point target. I'm getting long off the 5-minute though. I'm prepared to stomach some drawdown. This Apex account is one of the older ones. Rejection, still not sure. So this 5-minute fair value gap comes in with the 1-minute right here. We do not have any fair value gaps up here. Retested the inversion, close below, open with a volume imbalance back above it, or back at the low of this inversion. I still count this as being respected because yes, we close below, but we immediately open on that next candle right at the low. Let's see if we have any questions. Nope, not right now. Still trying to see. Asinov should be really happy about his long from down there. But before I would enter, I would like to see the 5-minute fair value gap being repriced. What would that look like? Something like this. We have this 5-minute volume imbalance. Be aware, it's 5 minutes before a new hourly candle. That usually brings some volatility with it. Not trying to chase getting in at the high. Even if we miss the entry, it's fine. Really. More than fine. Take a look at NQ. Get away from ES here. So NQ doesn't look that bullish. It's above the 50% of our 930 range so far. Really have to extend it to this low now. Above the 50. We have 2 bearish fair value gaps right here that we could be using to continue lower to deliver into overall sell side. ES is looking much more bullish, like it actually wants to continue higher. But we can't say that for sure. New hourly candle coming in 1.5 minutes. Let's see. I wouldn't take this on the account where I've already made my profit on, and if I would have only one account, I wouldn't take any other trades. This account is a couple days away from being the first month. Let's see, we're tapped in on the 1 minute and 5 minute.
Order filled.
Thank you, trader weight. Alright, 40 seconds before we get a new hourly candle. Yep, got some buffer. My take profit target is going to be a high. Not really the 50% of the new day opening gap. high risk entry because there's lots of room to the downside. Could even hit the breaker block again if it wants to. 10 seconds before a new hourly candle. Three, two, one. And there it goes. New hourly candle is in. Let's take a look at how the hourly candle closed here in relation to the other ones. A little rejection to the upside, but a strong move from down here. Of course, we could see a retracement now with that new hourly candle. 5-minute time frame already tapped. The 50% of that be somewhere around here. Like I said, prepared to take a loss and to stomach some drawdown. Want to see if we can continue into this buy side liquidity after making this run. That's my high risk entry. The lower risk entry will be at the breaker block overlapping with this bullish fair value gap. If we measure our expansion, it's lining up perfectly with the 50%, but we will see if we even have to get to that level with that momentum. Got rejected here. How many points is that to my take profit target? 12.5. Decent. Making lower lows and lower highs. The DXY rejected nicely here. Also after midnight, so if we drop that down to a 15, not convinced yet. Really, DXY has been going sideways. Not much of an help. Take a look at NQ. NQ is starting to retrace as well. Do we have any questions? No, Koch doesn't have a question. And on YouTube, not either. Bearish volume imbalance. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah. And now it's simply time to watch the trade and see how the idea plays out. If it plays out at all.
Order filled.
Right, we're filled with our second contract. We're about to hit that lower fair value gap. Retrace below the 50% of this bullish fair value gap on the 5. Once again, what happened before this candle? Volume imbalance. And what did this volume, or what did this candle do? Close below, retested the previous closing price, continued lower. It's really important to, keep track of these imbalances. DXY pushing. Now we have a bearish fair value gap right here. Equal highs. So I could be completely wrong about this trade, and I do not want anyone to lose money because they try to copy my trades. You can copy the 2022 models like the one we took over here. That's all fine. But all these trades right here, they're just me practicing really. 2022 model is my go-to model. Once I see it, I take it. No questions asked. Right here, I don't see one. That's why I'm specifically using that different account. Well, kind of. Market structure shift. But we didn't sweep external, and that's rule number one for me. I want to see external liquidity to be taken before I enter into a 22 model, like right here. Took the high, displaced, continued lower. Right here, yeah, we cleared 830, but I would have liked to see the London sell side to be taken. So let's see if we completely ignore all that. Structure that we have put in place. Let's watch the 5-minute. New 5-minute candle. Decent retracement. We could even retrace lower into this one. This is our 5-minute breaker block. I'm well prepared. That's why I entered into this trade and why I'm already in with 2 contracts. We could even continue now to sell off, looking at NQ, having hit the 50%, almost back at the low. My stop's below the midnight and the 8:30 open. If we get down to that, so be it. Mm-mm-mm. 1 hour time frame. Decent retracement, 15-minute. Same here. 15-minute inversion fair value gap. These arrows. And like always, we have 2 scenarios where this could have been that last fake out to the upside before we actually take London to get rid of all the shorts that have been in the market. Like we tried it here, continued lower. Maybe like, for example, I did, more shorts entered the market. And we had this last rally to the upside. If we look at it on the 1 minute, only up closing candles. Maybe we get the exact opposite now with only down closing candles. Like I said, that's an old account. I do not really care about it, but it's good for the learning experience. Better than taking it on the funded accounts or the ones where you, for example, only want to trade a specific model. Like I use the livestream account to only trade the 2022 model. Wow, this is also a 2022 model. Yeah, we will see. I'm gonna stop talking too much. We're still inside the breaker block. We're holding on this 1 minute bullish fair value gap. What I wouldn't like to see is a candle close below the 5-minute bullish here. That would just confirm the short rally for me here. But looks like the 1 hour candle doesn't want to continue into buy side and to fill the rest of the new day opening gap as of right now. At least. Haven't had a single up closing candle in this row, same way as we had it here. So this could really would have been a fake out to continue into London sell side. Bearish volume imbalance, also a bad sign, but we just hit the midnight level. That's my last level of defense. If we break below that, I'm out of the trade with a relatively acceptable drawdown. Can be recovered. Most important thing is that our livestream account that we started yesterday is a nice profits, and we do not want to risk any of that. Let's see that the 5-minute candle closed below. No, but it's closing in 20 seconds. So why did this 2022 model here made a lower low, displacement, bullish fair value gap? Maybe likely it's not going to work because we didn't sweep any external. All this is inside the current daily range. Right here's the high. Right here we have the London session low. Maybe the reason why. But we nicely rejected from that midnight level. So let's see what we're going to do here. That's why my stops are below. We respected the breaker block. You see that? Up 2 up closing candles before we broke structure. We hit that to the tick. Could maybe still be in play. Not much I can do regarding all that, but we closed below the first 5-minute bullish fair value gap, which now would be a inversion fair value gap. So we're gonna mark that. Purple. Back below the VWAP, so could be some major resistance on the 5. We could play that inversion fair value gap now for the continuation lower. And we already did that with this rejection wick from the VWAP, overlapping with that. And I think we're out. Yeah, we used the inversion fair value gap. Still respecting the breaker.
Order filled.
Getting out with 1 contract. And I think this is also good for the viewers. Like maybe you think you're the only one making these mistakes on your challenges, and no, it's just trading. This is what we sign up for, basically. And it's okay to take a loss. That's also why I like having different Apex accounts, and we're stopped out.
Stop filled.
Oh, this was just a manipulation move to the upside. To continue to gravitate towards London sell side liquidity. Power trade NQ got 15 minutes sell mode right now. Let's see. Yeah, like we talked about NQ, retrace above the 50%. NQ didn't look as bullish as ES did, but also had this expansion move to the upside right here. Based on that, retrace above the 50% to a premium to continue lower into a discount. Check out the 5-minute. Below the lowest 5-minute fair value gap. So yeah, guys, I really hope you find some value and also seeing me lose big time on this trade. And I'm not, yeah, afraid of it. The important thing for me is that I stopped trading on my main account, the livestream account. Let's try and see if we maybe this
Order rejected.
interesting. I think I just blow the first account on the stream. And I didn't even know because I didn't check the trader weight dashboard. Let's see. That account is up. That's all that matters. Yeah, actually. Wow. First time. Well, I hope you learned the lesson. back inside this bullish fair value gap. So that's it for today. But let's do some simulated paper trading. Unfilled volume imbalances. Didn't even care about any of the bullish fair value gaps that we have left behind. And this way, you know, you've been manipulated. And if I wouldn't be here on the live stream, I would have simply, left the charts right after my take profit target has been hit of the 2022 model, right here on the other account at the beginning of the stream where we entered short to the midnight level after seeing this. And this way you can also avoid messing up your accounts, but simply by using less screen time. So yeah, maybe someone needed that advice. And yeah, I think there's really no point of me streaming past the AM session. I have no other account left here that I'm feeling willing to trade right now. This account is up to 50. Our take profit trader challenge is up 1,000 today. That's pretty good for a trading day. And tomorrow we have 10 AM news consumer sentiment and 8 European. And 8:30 we have the core PCE price index month to month. And I think that wraps up today's session. Once again, we clear sell side and we get a push back in. Same time like last time. I wouldn't be surprised if we now go all the way back above the high. Unfilled volume imbalance right here. But yeah, it's the end of the trading session for me, guys. We all feel your pain. There's no pain at all. Well, I would have cancelled that account anyway. Didn't want to pay the second recurring subscription. Much rather cancel it. Try to get a win. Didn't play out today. Lost 18 bucks. Ouch. Hurt so much. That's the cool thing about the Apex challenges. And yeah, if you want to sign up with Apex and also get the feeling of what it feels like to blow a fun account like I just did and still have a smile on your face, then an $18 challenge doesn't hurt as much as a 150, or if you trade CFDs, even more. So yeah, you can use the link in the description box below to soothe my pain, to ease my pain. But no, I think that's going to conclude it. Thanks very much for watching today's stream. We've streamed for over 3 hours, so I think that's a wrap. Take care, guys. We had 100 views and 16 likes. That's a new record. I really appreciate it, and I will be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye.